Okay, let's talk Eternals. Hey everyone, Jeremy here. Today I am going to talk about Eternals. I'm kind of going to do a review here at the beginning and then go into just my thoughts and where I think it's going to go. But it's going to be kind of a very subtle, not a too in-depth review. If you want an in-depth review, there are plenty of those out there. Just kind of my thoughts on how I feel about the movie and what I think worked and didn't work. I'll keep it non-spoiler here at the beginning, and then I'll let you know when I'm going to go into spoilers, which will probably be more or less when I start talking about where I think it's going to go. So essentially, my overall thoughts is it was fine. It was entertaining. It's a movie I feel like was trying to do something different. It wanted to be a movie about gods. It wanted to be a movie, an epic tale about gods on Earth. But it was also using comic book tropes. It was trying to use both. It was trying to use epic tale and superhero tropes. And I don't think they got there. I don't think it actually meshed the way they were intending. It never became as epic as what I was expecting, and it never was as much of a superhero movie as I was expecting. It kind of became neither in a way, and both. So it just never reached the peak that it really should have. And I've got to say, I think I lay this squarely on the director. The story seemed fine. The story and the script, those seemed fine. It just seemed that the directing didn't quite capture the epic nature of these characters the way it should have. The characters were fine. I really liked most of the characters. I think one character, Cersei, I felt like she was supposed to be the heart of the story, and I didn't think she was as strong when she wasn't playing off other characters. She was the only one that I felt like was the least interesting, to be honest. Everybody else, though, I was just, every time they were on screen, yeah. Oh, and Kingo, Kumail's character, oh my goodness, all day long, him and his valet, oh my goodness, all day long, every day, give him his own movie, I don't mind, just love that character, so great. But in the end, while it was trying to do two different things, I didn't feel like it got there, and I was watching something I'd already seen before, which is so strange. All right, now I have to go into just talking about what's going to happen and the ramifications and the things. So we're going into spoilers here. We're going straight into spoilers. Oh, and since this is absolutely a discussion between us, if you have comments and thoughts, I really want to hear them. Leave them below. I want to talk about all the theories I've got as well as yours. So anytime, just leave your thoughts below. That is what this whole video is for. I want to talk to you guys about this. So I was mentioning Cersei earlier, and I think for the most part, they were really trying to make her the heart of the movie, but I really found her not that interesting, except when she was playing off other characters, especially Ikaris. Ikaris to me was one of the most fascinating characters in the movie, next to Kingo. But he was a really interesting character because he was so opposite of her. So when they were together, it really was a cool give and take where they had conflicting ideologies and personalities. So I really liked that. So when that turn came, I was a bit disappointed. I was really disappointed that, oh, he's going to turn out to be the bad guy. And then in the end, even though he turned out to be the bad guy, I didn't like how they even handled his wrap up. Him flying into the sun, cool, oh, Ikaris flying into the sun. But I didn't like that he did that. I didn't feel the weight. I didn't feel the weight of, oh, I can't come back from this. I have to go die now. I didn't feel that. Anyway, even though I didn't like that he died, the one thing I realized at the end was because they're getting taken to the World Forge, that's where they make Eternals. And not only Eternals, but them. They literally remake their bodies. They have their memories stored there. So I think in the next movie, we're going to see Ikaris again. If there is a next movie, we'll talk about that in a second. I think we will see Ikaris again, as well as his memories restored. But it's how much of his memories will he have? I have to think that maybe they'll get restored to the point before. Like they only have his memories up to a certain point. Like maybe before he turned on them, before he killed Ajak, things like that. Now, where they left it, where they're getting judged, I have real questions on whether or not this is getting a sequel. I mean, as I'm recording this, I have real questions if this is going to get a sequel in a traditional sense, because this movie is really it's divisive. It's kind of divisive. I don't think it's horribly divisive. I think a lot of people are a bit let down. I don't think there are a lot of people clamoring for a sequel to this. We want to see where certain things lead to, like Silver Fox showing up at the end. I forgot his other name. Thanos' brother, all that. I don't know the character from the comics. Sorry, that's an obscure character from the comics. Yeah, I want to know where that leads. I really want to see what that that does to the story. But I don't know that I want another Eternals movie. I could almost see this, them appearing in another Guardians of the Galaxy movie, have them appear in Captain Marvel, tie up that story somewhere else. So kind of my prediction for any sequel, which I think is going to be a long way off at this point, I think they will end up bringing in a completely new director and go a new direction. Kind of like what they did with, think of Thor the Dark World. Thor the Dark World, I don't hate any Marvel movie, to be honest, and I have some enjoyment in that movie, but I have enjoyment out of every Marvel movie, including Eternals. But after that movie came out, we had a long time before we had another Thor movie. And then they completely went a different direction. They brought in Taika, and he made Thor Ragnarok, and it is one of my favorite MCU movies. I get the sense that's what they're going to do with this too. I get the sense that with Eternals, they're going to see, yeah, this didn't quite work creatively the way we were looking for. It didn't quite land with audiences as well as we hoped. More importantly, it didn't excite audiences as much as they'd hoped. So now they're going to have to rethink their strategy. And I have a feeling that means put off a sequel for a while, bring in a new director, a new writer, freshen things up, then pick up the story somewhere later. And I have a feeling, I don't know that it'll be a direct sequel. I don't know that it'll be we're picking up at the World Forge. It could be similar to Thor Ragnarok, where it's a little bit standalone, like it's taking place after they went to the World Forge, after the judgment's already happened. They're now back on Earth, or they're on a completely different planet now. The sky's the limit. They can go any direction they want. This would have worked probably a little bit better as a Disney Plus series. You could have actually had specific episodes set in different eras of the Eternals' lifetimes, which would have probably been a little bit cooler. And then leading to this finale where we don't know what's going to happen, and that could have been your season 2. I would have enjoyed that probably more now that I think of it. Because I think that's part of what actually didn't work for me is I felt like the flashbacks, the traveling through the times, I felt like we could have spent more time in those places. We could have gotten to know the character in those places more often. So you could have had all these, an hour dedicated to them just in the past, at 400 BC or whatever it was in the movie. You could have had those moments that were not just moments in a movie, but whole episodes. And I think it would have worked better. Now, I do feel like the Black Knight was kind of shoehorned in. I really do. I don't feel like they set that up very well at all. I felt like that was very comic booky, which, Marvel movie, whatever. But at the same time, it was a little bit too comic booky in a movie that wasn't supposed to be that comic booky. I'm saying comic booky a lot. This was an epic tale of gods, essentially. But then we had an origin story for kind of a supernatural-ish character that was barely taking place, that was barely being alluded to, and who happened to be in love with one of the main characters. It was just a lot of coincidences that we had to swallow. If somehow him being the Black Knight was tied to the Eternals, I felt like that would have been far more acceptable. That's not to say I'm not excited for this character though, because I love Kit Harington. Him in the Marvel Universe, absolutely, 100% absolutely. And what it set up at the end is really what I'm excited for, because I did not know, and I don't know if this is on the movie or on me, that voice, there were whispers coming from the sword at the end, correct? Well, that voice that said, "Are you sure you're ready for this?" or something along those lines, I thought that was coming from the sword. I thought that was just coming from the sword. No, that was a character off screen. And before I say who it was, this is a kind of a spoiler, I guess, but you heard the voice. I didn't realize who that character was. So you're being warned right now. I'm going to tell you who that character was because I didn't realize it. I didn't recognize the voice. I thought it was coming from the sword. So 3, 2, 1, I'm going to say who it is. That was Blade. Blade went to visit him. Blade. That was Blade. It has been confirmed. In case you didn't hear me. Blade. Oh my goodness. That is the most exciting thing to me to come out of this movie. We had Eternals. We had, cosmic beings running around. The thing that excited me most, Blade, and then the Black Knight. Those are the two things. Those are the two things that got me excited. I don't even know the Black Knight from the comics. I just like the idea of it. What I've learned of the character and the actor playing him, those excite me. And the idea that Blade is coming to this character, this supernatural-ish character, and they're going to be teaming up. 100% yes. 100% yes. And they are totally going to set up their own version of the Midnight Suns. And I am great with that because we already have other supernatural characters coming. And yeah, that has me excited. That has me absolutely excited. And that's kind of where I'm thinking they're going with this is they're setting up a team up. Maybe even the Blade movie is going to have the Black Knight. We don't have a Black Knight movie on the books. So I could very easily see them take that character and insert him into Blade and have him be kind of almost under his wing. That could be awesome. I've already gone on way too long here. What are your thoughts? What are your theories? Leave them below. Do you think Eternals is going to get a sequel? Do you think Black Knight's going to get his own movie? Do you think that Blade team up is a possibility? Please, 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 please. Whatever your thoughts and theories, leave them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe to see more content like this, as well as share this with friends if you think they might enjoy it. All right, and before I go, as always, please take care of yourselves and please take care of each other. Thank you for watching.